welcome back to the channel. Dirigo207 with you guys, coming at you today with Kaldvann. We're here in version 2.0, still working in Trondheim here. We're down in the riverfront area. Just want to check the volumes real quick, make sure everything is acceptable. Pause the let me just double check this. One moment. Oh yeah, no, that's going to be more than acceptable, so we'll get back to that. Alrighty, so we're back here in Trondheim. We're going ahead and working in the riverfront area. You might recognize where we are with the big arch bridge over there in the background. That is the lift bridge that we've created connecting Trondheim to Rosenborg. I think last stream we were working on the airport, the Centrum Lufthaven. Haven't really done much with it, I don't think. I think maybe I added taxiways and started to put down basic markings at the airport, but it's kind of about it at this point. Let me go ahead and show you around and show you what exactly we have been working on here in the riverfront. So slowly trying to get this area figured out exactly what industries we're going to be using, as well as how this main line leaving the container port is going to be passing through. See, there are some rail-served industries through here, so try to give it some switchability. Still got to work on this bridge, putting all the pillars in, because it's gonna look great once all those pillars are in. The rail line comes back over here and starts to curve and keeps hugging the side, the cliff down from the city into this more lowlands kind of along the riverfront. It's been recreated for industrial use. Not entirely sure what kind of port's going to go over here, because we do have a larger container port that's already going in. This could just be a general harbor, fishing harbor, an oil port as well. Could be some oil tanks down here. But we'll wait and see, because there's already going to be a large container port, which I've been working on over here, or slowly plopping in, more or less. I haven't really worked on it yet, but I did kind of get the basis of the port more or less kind of roughed in real quick. So Trondheim will, of course, have a working port, working riverfront. The only thing I need to figure out now is the rail line curves through here. Needs to be something for the actual container trains to load and unload their cars. So I'll probably have like a stub end loading tracks. They'll probably branch back off this way. So I'm hoping to just get some basic loading tracks in here. Maybe some area for just basic car storage and such. Train station's gonna go here for Trondheim, and then I kind of want to do a, keep the line elevated for the passenger line, slowly kind of maybe bring it down, either curve and have it sit up along the bank over here as we start to approach what will be a lift bridge. What's gonna need to happen is the passenger line, I think the light rail line, and the freight line all need to go over this bridge more or less, which I think is gonna need to be raised up. So there will be like a small grade heading too, more or less, but I think in this area I want to have a small rail yard kind of along here to service more or less Trondheim and the areas around it. Nothing too big, nothing too fancy. I don't want it to be a hump yard. It'll just be a flat switch yard, but I gotta have something in this very unique area. So I think that's what we're going to do today, is work on the train station, kind of get that maybe started to rough in so we have an idea of what's going on. This isn't going to be a terminus, it will just be a stop along the way, but it's going to be a pretty large station. It's servicing Trondheim, so that's going to need to be large. There will be, I think, 1 or 2 more stops out this way. I think the line will more or less end over here. What we could do is have the line kind of loop around and then cross. and then, you know, heading this way, it could head out towards the airport and terminate and such, so, or kind of meander in some way, but the Kriegerhaven's going to be over here where the large airport is, so one way of doing it. But anyhow, that's just kind of the thought, the plan, but at least making the train station here is going to be what we start with today. I'll show you the other stuff we've been up to real quick. I'm trying to think exactly what you haven't seen. Did start extending this out just a little bit here to kind of show which way the road's going to go. It's been freshly paved as well, so going to try and make it look like that was recently worked on by kind of blending a darker road texture with a lighter road texture. But this kind of throughway is going to come out and start meeting the highway, because this is more or less a bypass. This is taking a lot of traffic and funneling it out towards Rosenborg. So there's that. Of course, Riverfront, working a little bit over here in Rosenborg, trying to get some buildings set in. Toby, you are full of life today. Yes, you are, buddy. I built the checkerboard, for which the airplanes will aim at for the airport, kind of Kai-Tak-esque inspired. And the airport itself, like I said, I don't remember what exactly I did show you guys last, but this is the current layout. Hi! Yes, I've been petting you all morning, sir. Yes, hello. Yeah, shut your face. Come over there. No, he's a chatty little Kathy. But yes, this is more or less the layout of the airport with its taxiways. Cargo terminal, small private jet GA terminal. And then, of course, the taxiway just comes over here. Dead ends for runway. I think this is 36 over here. Yeah, because looking towards the north, so. Still trying to figure out the terminal area. I'm just going with the parking along here for arrivals, departures, and then if people want to use the pickups here, I mean, I want to keep this mostly reserved for buses and taxis and such, public transit. So I suppose we could do that, or just drop-offs. This would be more or less, I don't know, mixed use. Not entirely sure. That's not my fine area, is deciding what's going to be going on there. Also, you're going to look here at the DEM real quick and notice that we finally have the coastline for this section of Iceland we acquired. So we did kind of icer the blue line. He was able to get this area seamlessly sewed on. I mean, you can tell with the textures it's different, but you can see where the old meets the new, but it seamlessly meets. There's no abrupt edges and stuff like that, but we have the coastline, so this is one less thing I need to do. One less thing I need to create as we head out towards whatever town's going to be over here. I forget what the name of that town is. So that is the good part. We don't have to worry about making that coastline right now. So very, very happy about that. But more or less, I think, you know, let's just go ahead and start looking at the train station. So first steps first, I need to look at making... Shut up, Toby. Not liking the meowing. You're okay. You're being a little needy today, and that's not gonna fly. Let's see what kind of retaining wall we're gonna use over here. I'm gonna use the FMA. Now, what is gonna happen though, is there's gonna be more of a ground level entrance, more or less. Can we move this? Oh. Yes, we can. Perfect. So there'll be more of a ground level entrance, and then there'll be the platform up above. So, kind of want to figure out exactly how that's going to look, and figure out how to actually design. Oh, I did create the bit. Okay, perfect. Wrong way. So I just want to look at the grid real quick. Because I obviously want to mirror this on both sides. So I'm not entirely sure how long of a train this is going to need to fit. I don't believe we're going to have insanely long passenger trains coming through here. So the station needs to be big enough, but there also needs to be a small passenger yard for equipment up here as well. And the passenger station is also accommodating the light rail line that comes in from Trondheim. So I need to be able to accommodate that if able. So we'll kind of see how that's going to work or look, more or less. But I think this is going to be the basis for our start. So kind of a wide structure, kind of a wide building. Oh, upsetting. Perfect. So first steps first, I think maybe building a double crossover. Yeah, it looks like just a little bit of a curve, which is more than fine by me. Gives it a little bit more of characteristic. It's not going to be so insanely straight. So what we will do is go ahead and start that double crossover so they can start building the ladder. I want to make it as smooth as I can. Perfect. And then we can start kind of building the ladder into the station. So like I said, I don't want anything too steep. I don't want anything too large. So I'm kind of gonna have to shallow this out. I want it to be nice and gentle for all the passenger equipment to kind of be able to come in here and not have to worry about it a whole lot. Now, one other thing I could do is lower this all down to ground level, so that way it's a little bit easier to work with to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Just that way I kind of know what I'm doing here. So, and then we'll raise it all back up afterward. Because also I need to place platforms and such, and kind of figure out what am I doing there, you know. So actually, let's get a platform in here real quick. So there's a candidate right there. It's a bit wider of a platform. Oh, these get wider. Okay. I like that, but it's a low platform. And we need high platforms. So I don't really see any good stuff there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this BCH platform. I think we're just going to have to finagle it a little bit. So we'll go ahead and put that here. Just to kind of see real quick how I'm going to do this. But for now, it's going to kind of measure. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put this kind of in the middle because there is going to be a middle platform here. I just want to see where we are on the... So, like I said, that's not going to be how this exactly works, but these lines need to kind of curve just a little bit to accommodate.
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit
Oh, an advertisement. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Dance lessons. Ow, ow, ow. And on what you need, like memory foam inserts. That's real life ready. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
I ain't getting paid for that, so screw your advertisement. Alright, so let's see how that's going to work with an Amfleet. It's kind of a little far away. Yeah, there's kind of a big gap in between that and what we need. So we'll tuck that a little closer. Maybe we'll tuck that a little bit closer. I think that should be pretty decent, I suppose. Alright, let's see how close that's going to be. Excuse me. Now it's going to hit. Okay. Just that way we can kind of see exactly what I'm doing here. Let's raise this platform up some. And just to kind of see where it needs to sit, we can bring this Amfleet back to the level. And we'll kind of raise this up some. So right about there. There you go. So honestly, it doesn't need to come up too far. Yeah, so that should be perfect. And there will be need for low platforms, some, you know, in the station area, so... I mean, it fits, but the thing I have to worry about... Also, so my F40 started working again for whatever reason. Which, I mean, I will happily take at this point. So this has got to come over just a little bit further to one side. So that way the F40 doesn't, you know, schmack the platform. I think that should suffice. Just make sure it stays nice and... beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh god. Ugh. Blech. MBTA. Gross. No one one likes MBTA. I don't even think people who work on the MBTA like MBTA, but that's just me. I'm not an MBTA enjoyer. Though I wish the two F40s I really want to use, the Phase 5 and Phase 3, were working. But beggars can't be choosers. Anyhow, so I'm going to I suppose I should lower this back down just so I know exactly how to make the rail line alongside it. But we'll remember that 684 for the height. And need to sit kind of just a little bit away from the actual platform itself. So not making this insanely perfect at this particular second, but like I said, just roughing in the actual design. But I do apologize for no content as of late. I'm still just trying to get my head back on my shoulders for the day, for the week, for the month. Been working so much, and I'm still burnt out. Like we're not really doing okay. I'm gonna be frank with y'all. I'm just kind of burnt out, and there's just no end in sight right now. So I was given a 3-day weekend, which is nice. Kind of thrown a bone at this point. But yeah. So I'd like to get Bristol done tonight in some capacity. I'd like to do that in our 2003 race if we can. Because, you know, Squared, he started his career mode back up, so I'd like to kind of get moving on mine. Nice gentle corner, perfect. Alright, so I have to figure out how many platforms this is going to be. Keeping in mind there will be kind of a structure up here for people to kind of hide off into. That looks nice. Make sure it fits on both sides, which I don't really know why we're doing that without the platform being raised. Yeah, nice and snug. I think there's equal amount of clearance on both sides. Kind of eyeballing it. It looks fine. Not going to worry too much about it. Go ahead and lower those back down. So now we need to get Another track even up over here. Alright, so let's see. Tomb kind of through tracks, more or less, the main line. Kind of more or less. Main line, I guess, kind of track 1. So, track 1, 2. Just trying to think exactly how big this is going to need to be. So what can be done is, there could be platform here, a platform. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 platforms would be 1, 2, 3, however many tracks. The 2 light service lines. I'm trying to think how we're going to fit it over here. And then the actual small service yard could be on this side. Just again, trying to think in my head how's this all going to work. So I can't go any further than this line here for the actual service. So let me see. So more or less, this just needs to make more sense than the previous train terminal we had. I liked it just because it was downtown, and it kind of made for a nice scene, but not one of my better structures. Alright, so we can drag this up some. So I get a feeling it's all going to fit just perfectly. this up here. Perfect. Just kind of the initial idea of the platforms. There will be one more over here. Now I kind of want to see about how would a yard work up here for just passenger cars and also just maybe some light power being stored. So I will put in one more platform just for the trains on this side. Alright. So we'll construct the ladder here in a minute, but like I said, I kind of want to see rail yard. So I'm thinking 3 decent sized tracks for just car storage, just extra passenger equipment just hanging around. Now this wall can come about as far to here, and then it has to start curving up to kind of start negotiating for what will be the rail yard, or it can at least, you know, parallel this for a moment, and then it has to kind of curve up to allow the passenger line and everything to coefficiently meet. We'll say from up here, you'll have a nice view of the city. And kind of looking out. We have to remorph that mountain, but I do want like kind of like a mountain off in the distance, an island. Uninhabited, but you know, something to look at from the beyond. But this is all gonna pretty much go. I'm gonna be deleting this sometime soon, but kind of give you an idea of what we were working with before. This was the old train station. Yeah. It was painful. And hell, this was a version where I hadn't even put the doors in yet down here, because I had done some work with doors and such, but... Old Trondheim. Obviously, you can still see, oh yeah, then the long-distance passenger station I was working on over here. Yeah, and the trench behind Marienborg. All interesting concepts, just, oh god, making it all work was a nightmare. But hopefully this will make more sense. I hope, anyhow. Let's see real quick. Do want like a small engine service. Interesting looking little structure. Alrighty. Let's see. A little bigger than I wanted. Not exactly what I wanted. Actually, wait, hold on. This could work a little better. We'll put that off to the side for a moment. So first, let's see how this is all going to fit in. Excuse me. Sorry, my voice is not doing what it needs to do today. There we go. Love this time of year. So we'll kind of curve it in, say, like that, I suppose. No. What just did that? I'm sure some people's OCD is about to get just really pissed off the fact that those switches aren't exactly lined up perfectly, but don't care. Alright, so I guess we'll be extending this wall down a little bit just to kind of negotiate with this. So let me grab this once more. Oh, let me grab this once more. So it gives us a little more space, I guess, which is fine. I don't think anyone's going to really mind that there's more space being taken, because I'm the only one who would ever say anything, and I'm okay with it. So to this line right here, just to give some more space. Maybe not that much space. So to this line here. I'm just going to kind of mark it with the tracks, just so we know where that end space is. So this is as far over as we can come on the engine service side, so... Howdy, Odin. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. So I think we can connect this back up happily. Yeah, that's fine. That'll be a decent grade. What is the grade, anyways? Up allegedly at 28. Just want to see how many cars I can kind of fit in here. Fleet. Oh god, the fucking Pocono Limited. That holds about 6 cars at the moment. So, we'll obviously need to be longer. So let's see here. I think what we'll do is, so yeah, there'll be the 2 tracks that come out to here. Maybe just a small dead line of trains that kind of curve up the side. Because I want to keep this area kind of open for things to be stored, vehicles, such on, you know, whatever. There we go. switch here, so maybe we'll just kind of shrink it up a little bit. Howdy, Icer. Yeah, no, a daytime stream, little unheard of. So yeah, that'll be a deadline for just engines that are in need of servicing, more or less. So we'll go ahead and curve these onto here. I'm gonna just extend this. Let's see. A little too far away. Kind of a big switch, not gonna lie. So let's shorten that up as well. There. Alright, so some engine storage, more or less. The actual shop tracks for whatever the hell's going on. So let's see, so we will need to kind of curve into this track here, kind of the lead. I think back here will just be kind of alongside the platforms, more or less, will just be car storage. So I'll kind of curve off of here. So I suppose in theory I could kind of maybe sneak in one more platform on the backside here, but track where it puts in the frogs for you beforehand. Oh yeah. Now this track's pretty nice where it puts in the frogs for me, because I wouldn't want to do this. I wouldn't be making this yard otherwise. The only thing I think I have to do is yeah, put in the diamond overlay here, but that's fine by me. So but that'll come once I'm all done. For now, we're just kind of roughing in the design and getting the general concept for this yard put down. Alright, so I'll give 3 tracks for car storage. I think that should be sufficient. And this will just be general track storage, or car storage and stuff. You know, just extra passenger equipment lying around. Nothing too huge. Though I need to exactly figure out what in the hell I'm using for passenger equipment at this point. I know we're using AM fleets, but what else are we using? Because, you know, there are other train lines that'll be coming through here, so what are they using? Yeah, so 3 tracks will be sufficient enough. I do want to have this kind of come back to... a little tight in my opinion. A little better. A little better. That's not bad. And there can be kind of a fuel point somewhere back here for the engines that will be passing through. So let me go ahead and extend these tracks out. And I don't think it's going to fit very nicely into the space that I've allotted for it. But this more or less is just going to serve as the kind of general yard for the area for passenger equipment. I suppose one of these tracks could also just be for spare engines, so just kind of spare, just equipment storage tracks more or less. It's a little sharp. Let me kind of see without that. There. Yeah, it's a little sharp. Could probably do this a little better. Just let me see. Let me see here. See, we can move it out just a little bit, so we'll kind of extend it off the ballast and not quite the ties. So, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, this being the fact that it's going to service, you know, most of the country, the BP-42s, I kind of want some F-45s. I'm not going to lie, I would love some F-45s. Skinning those will be the question at this point. I'll probably talk to Manny or something. Gotta figure out exactly what the paint scheme looks like and what companies are running through here. Love some F-40s. Some NPCUs. Alright, so let's see here. Using the approach medium method, building ladders. Where did that track go? Looks good, and then we can just go ahead and curve this track right on up and over with 0 consequences of our actions. There, a nice smooth ladder. And yeah, and then we'll do like a fuel pad back here, and that will suffice the area, and then we'll close it off. Next step will be doing the ladders for the platforms. And trying to figure out if I want to sneak in one more platform back here, which I could absolutely do. Could absolutely do that. I hate how my zipper, there. Say my zipper keeps rubbing up against the cord to my. That's probably what you guys are hearing, if you have heard anything. Alright, so let me see here real quick. My brother must be awake, I can hear his music. Yeah, we'll squeeze in one more platform back here, how about that? His music got louder. Hold on one second. It's a good thing I do go to work so much. He just blares his music all day. Alright, so this can fit 6 cars. Yeah, there would be some switching. A lot of the switching is going to get done from the opposite end, just because this bridge will be going up and down once we get too close, too far, so on and so forth. Thinking of setting an invisible switch here and here to basically create a signal to allow the trains to activate or deactivate the bridge. But yes, there will be some sort of equipment that needs to be here. I'm still thinking like an SW1 wouldn't be a bad idea. Just some old just older equipment that will be here to do the switching itself. for the equipment that needs to be swapped out. So I probably am going to use the SW1 because I love that little unit, and I'm going to see if someone can kit bash some strobes and some ditchy boys onto the unit. But let me grab this track here because we're going to use it. Because this will be adjacent to our fuel pad.
Ma, ¿podemos llevar a Javi a su casa?
Claro. ¿Podemos llevar también a los gemelos, señora de...
A Toyota commercial in Spanish. Love it. I just don't like these lo-fi, streams that have ads in them. Just a little bit annoying. Alright, so there's that. Just kind of seeing what I'm thinking right now. How long is this track over here again? This fits currently a little over 6 cars, so that's not bad. We got 3 of them. I don't know how much we're going to need. Probably not much further down because it's going to start closing off to start heading back in because the line's going to curve. I think what I'm going to do is, curve the line. It's going to start slowly descending to meet the freight line to cross over this little inlet over here. Then head back over this way, climb back up to meet the terrain and head off and around towards the coastline. So, kind of out of the city. I'm not sure if I'm able to get the light rail line up here. I might have to do like a light rail station. Maybe the light rail was an afterthought in the city, more or less, or when they built the station there was no light rail and then they were out of space, so they just built the light rail alongside it. And so there's a connection that way instead of having... I ideally would have liked a direct connection, but I don't really want to try and fit it in here, so there will be a small light rail terminus probably somewhere over here. The light rail will have its probably own bridge crossing back across the inlet right there, so that'll probably be what I do, because I'm not going to try and cram the light rail up here as much as I'd love to, because it would just be so much better and seamless. But let me see, I need a fuel pad, so kind of just want to do what we see particularly in the Carabasset, just kind of having the open fuel pad concept. So I just need concrete to go in between the tracks. That's too nice. Oh. That's interesting. Huh. TBS concrete overpass. When the hell was this made? Huh. I remember that. Oh, wait, there it is. Not what I wanted exactly. Yeah, that's more what I wanted. A little bit bigger than I wanted. Maybe actually not so much. Let me see. I know what I'm looking for. I just gotta find it. Ooh, Yes, that's a nice driveway. I will have to remember that. I love that. Love that. Love it. Ooh, a fence. Bah. I suppose that could do. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, so we'll grab the tracks again. Kind of gently. It's just gonna be a 2-track servicing area. Nothing too major. Kind of keep it right up here for right now. It could fit maybe, 1 or 2 engines on each pad, so like I said, nothing major. I don't need anything huge. So just give myself some extra room to work with right here. The concrete will divide these two. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this on in. It'll be a low platform, so I don't really need to worry about having it be precise. Of course, we can trim exactly what we need, but for right now, that's a good start. Probably gonna end up lowering that down. I think it's just too tall. Too tall. Although I don't really think it's gonna matter right now because I'm about to raise these all up anyhow. But kind of see the look I want, so that'll work just fine. How long have I been going for? Just out of curiosity. About an hour, a little over an hour. So I think this is something like quick work for over an hour. More or less, anyways. I didn't like how that curves, I really don't. So we're gonna back it up. That's tight. I don't like that. That's probably a little better. I'll get yelled at another day. I don't know. Gasp and open space. Alright. So this is the beginnings, basically, and this can all get changed later down the road, but at least for now, I think this will serve my function appropriately. I guess. But next step is to start creating the ladder here for the passenger yard, or I'm sorry, the platforms, not the passenger yard. So what we'll do, I'll go ahead and delete that engine because I'm going to need that to go away. We're going to straighten out these track, these track, these track. Those tracks are good. These track. It's kind of a big turnout. We'll stick with it for now. Helped? Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. I'm just dumb. Just dumb. Leave me alone. Go away. Well, it's a mess, but I think this will work just fine. Why does it keep going back to... Oh, that's why. Like, why does it keep reverting back to that one track? I don't quite understand. does it do this? Put the ties back, please. There. That's some god-awful track arrangement, but whatever. A little tight here, but at least in my opinion, we can go ahead and smooth this curve out just a little more, dragging it back. Just not make it so abrupt, you know? There. And then we'll scooch that platform back, so... all in all, I think this is gonna work. I think this is gonna work just fine. Right, Toby? Oh, he meowed. He agrees. Yeah? You like the train station so far, buddy? Oh, it's a man. Yes, yes, come here. No, give me your face. Hold on, we gotta take a pet the cat break. Oh. Yes, there you are. No. What will you do? Ah, your claws are my knee. Oh, no. Nope. Ah, yep. Your claws are still on my knee. But he's so happy. He's so happy. Yeah, you are very happy. Alright. Go be a cat. There you go. He has departed to go be a cat. Alright. Yeah, I don't think this is as cursed as it could be. I think it definitely came out worse in my head. I just need to see how exactly long I want these platforms. Oh, yep, they curve. Are any of these on a grid? This one almost is. This one is just about, so we can kind of stem this one off. Just to have some sort of reference point. It's not straight. That's fine. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Yeah, it's gonna start pretty much curving this way to accommodate the oh, there's a cat behind me. Hello. You never went to go be a cat. You stayed. Oh, so much man. Yes. Okay, continue to do what you do. No, I don't want to open Minecraft, thank you. Alright, Tobes. I'm gonna get back to it. Just kind of out of curiosity, how many cars are we fitting on this track right now? Well, way more than 6. We can fit a lot more than 6, so I do want to lengthen it just a little more, probably about out to here-ish, so we can accommodate some larger trains. That's kind of help me figure out max size for trains that can kind of come through here, or that we'll be seeing on the island. I think that's a little too small, perhaps. Yeah, I think that narrowed down a little too much. It's going to get me a little too close for my comfort. There we go. Open that back up some. Move you over slightly. It's really hard with the guesswork here sometimes. That's a little too wide, I don't know. You know, Toby, I find it amusing that some nights or some days you will open the door by yourself, but other days you have to sit there and wait for me to open it for you. Today being a day you can open the door. Well, shit. Oop, not at all what I wanted. Oh yeah, while I'm sitting here building, a little story for you guys, a little tidbit from my evening the other night. So Friday, I got off work at AAA, and the Rooster had the late band there. And so I went, okay, you know, guess I'll stop in and see how everything's going, make sure that everything gets done and that, You know, if the waitresses want to leave because the band's going to be here really, really late, you know, they can go. So I, you know, got back. I went, you know, worked from AAA 10:45, 9:15. Left AAA. Came down to the Rooster about 9:45. And I kind of hung around, just kind of waiting for the band to finish up and, you know, whatever. Let them do their thing, because the band that comes in, like, they're pretty good. I'm not gonna, you know, sit there and say they're not. They're pretty good. But they like to hang out quite a while. They like to hang out for quite a while. So, you know, I kind of started waiting, and the problem with this band that comes in is that, technically speaking, the Rooster's liquor license only goes till about 9 p.m. It doesn't go till about, it goes to 9 p.m. So 9 p.m., that's when we're scheduled to close. We have to be done serving at that point. We could play ignorance and, you know, kind of get away with oh, you know, our bad, blah, 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 blah. It's 10, you know, it's 10:15. You know, we were just kind of wrapping up. We all kind of got a little lost in the time and the night, so we'll wrap it up here. We can play that ignorance. But the problem is that people are still in the restaurant until about 11. We're not serving food. I think in the state of Maine, it's up until 9. You could do alcohol, food up until 9. But I think it also depends on your liquor license. But I think the latest requirement for kitchens to stay open per the liquor licenses is 9 p.m. That's the latest that kitchens are required to stay open at most establishments in order to serve alcohol. After 9 p.m., I believe you can just do alcohol. I don't know if you need snacks or anything like that, but anyhow, so kind of getting annoyed. The band is still there. Like, people have funneled out at this point, but the band's still there. They're drinking with the owner. They're eating food, blah, blah, blah. It's after hours, but it's like, you know, still. Liquor license is a liquor license, but I mopped what I could. I swept what I could. And I'm just kind of waiting, because, like, the main dining room area, I can't even touch, because there's stuff's everywhere. So I wanted to go meet some friends at the bar behind the Rooster that was open, because they had left the restaurant and were over there. And so I looked at my manager and said, you know, I'm going to go over to the townhouse. I'm going to have me a drink. Text me when these guys break down their shit, and whenever we're ready to start cleaning, I'll come back. You know, because it's literally behind the Rooster. Like, you couldn't get any closer. She goes, okay. So I go over and having a drink, and mind you know, it's not a crowd that I know a ton of people in. So I'm making talk with the people who were at the Rooster and blah, 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 whatever. So eventually this older woman, probably in her 60s, she's there, and just a little old woman and stuff like that, comes over. We get to talking, and I don't know how the conversation had started. I kind of forget, but we got to talking, and there's this guy. His name's Jason. I don't know his last name. Couldn't care what his last name is. It wouldn't do any point here to share his last name. Not going to. But his name's Jason. Jason I've known of for a while. He frequents another bar that my dad used to work at in town over in Biddeford called Champions. Champions is kind of the local nightclub, more or less. It's a big sports bar, actually occupying an old Boston and Maine station in Biddeford, where the Flying Yankee used to stop. So it's still in that old station building. But the thing is, you know, Champions kind of like, it's a little seedier. The crowd that goes in there is a little more of the party, heavy drink. Like, the Champions is a party place. Always loud, live music in there, blah, 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 blah. Like, that is the place you go if you want to party. Cool, fine, no big deal. But the thing is that Jason hangs out a lot in Champions, which, okay, whatever. The problem with Jason is he's kind of an asshole. He's kind of a big asshole, actually. So he is the kind of guy that will just kind of meander around and go from person to person or group to group and interject himself in their conversations. Now, most time, other people are just drunk enough to where they don't care. But the problem with Jason is that, like I said, he wants to interject himself in everyone's conversations. Now, he's a drunk through and through. He's just a drunk through and through. No two ways to write it. But the excuse of alcohol doesn't particularly excuse the actions. You know, I don't really ever care for that excuse of, oh, well, I was drunk. Well, that doesn't really fucking matter, now does it? So, Jason, I've run into him a couple of times. I don't think he remembers me from any interaction because he is intoxicated. But I was on a date once with Emily. We were at a place, another bar down the street from Champions called Mulligan's. Now, Mulligan's I prefer a little more because most days it's quiet. You can actually have a conversation in Mulligan's. You can actually sit down, watch sports on the TV, watch NASCAR. That was the other thing too, is they play NASCAR in there. It's like that's automatically my bar because, like, you know, I want to watch NASCAR. But hey, Tobes. The thing is like, you know, I prefer Champions. So when I started introducing MLA to my drinking spots, or like where I would go to hang out, I decided, like, you know, no, we're not going to Champions, we're going to go to Mulligan's. So we go to Mulligan's. We're sitting there, and we're at like a little 2-seat table, kind of it's like you have the bar, it's like a wraparound bar, and then toward the windows on the street side, it's in an old brick building, are like these two-seater high tops that kind of border like the big windowsills, and then there you go. So me and Em are sitting there because we're on a date. It's kind of what you do when you're on a date. You sit together. I know, shocking. Major concept. But anyhow, so I'm sitting there, and I see Jason in the bar, and he's kind of bouncing around, and I'm like, whatever. Like, he rarely, if ever, bothers me. He's probably bothered me like 2 times to that point in the last like 3 years. Or no, it would have been 2022. I started working at the Rooster in 21. So about 2 years or so. So no, not a whole lot. And I've been frequently drinking enough to see him more than enough times. So like the amount of times this guy is bothering me to the amount of times like we're just there, you know, not bad. Oh, sec. But anyhow, so we're sitting there, and he comes over, and kind of just starts talking about whatever, but he's only really talking to Emily. And, like, it wasn't a very long exchange, but she didn't really have a whole lot to say. Because here's this really creepy, and, like, he's probably in his mid to late 40s. He has to be. Either that or he's, like, in his early 50s. But he's a tall, very muscular, very stocky guy. You know, like, he has, like, tree trunks for arms. He's a big dude. He's just a big dude. But the problem is that, like I said, he wants to talk to everyone, and he gets pissy when they don't want to talk back. The other thing is that he's a huge Trump supporter. Like, you know, you can vote for Trump, whatever. I don't give 2 shits. But he's the kind where if your views don't fit his views, he's gonna ridicule you about it and blah, 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 blah. So, like, it's just kind of like, ugh. He's always wearing a MAGA hat and, like, whatever. This is important information for later down the line. And so, like, you know, he kept talking to her, and finally I just kind of, like, looked at him and I said, can I help you? And he goes, pardon? I go, can I help you? And he goes, well, I'm having a conversation. I go, yeah, with my date. He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, well, we sat over here for a reason. We kind of like to be left alone. You know, this is our night to be together. Would appreciate it if you just let us be. He goes, well, excuse me, bro. I'm like, not your bro, but yeah, no, could you just let us be, please? And he was like, whatever, and walked away. It's like, okay, dude, but thank you. You know, he left us alone. Cool. We went about our night. And Em kind of laughed. She's like, he's an interesting person. I go, yeah, that's the local crowd. I didn't really know his name at that point, so, like, you know, didn't really matter to me who he was. But anyways, so lately with this new band that's been coming into the Rooster, he's been coming in with them. And at first I'm like, okay, like, I don't really care for this guy, and he's up to his same antics that he's always been up to, because, why change? And he's just meandering around, doing his thing, being himself. And so, it was last Saturday, the waitress in there, Lacey, he was flirting with her. And she's like, I think she's 20, is she 22, 23? I think she's in her early 20s, I know that. But like I said, he has to be in his late 40s. Has to be. And she's 20, in her early 20s. So, like, the age gap's pretty big. Is what it is if she's okay with it. She already has a boyfriend. So, like, already off the table. Totally unwanted advances. Plus, like, the guy's drunk, so it's also just, like, he's being sloppy. But, she wants nothing to do with it. And she had been serving him all night. Or she had been his waitress all night. So, it comes time to settle up, and, like, oh yeah, that's the other part. He's also very big about dodging bills. He's had to go back and settle up in a lot of places, the next day because he forgot to pay. I don't know if he's actually ever had any legal problems from that or whatever, but he's notorious for somehow forgetting to pay. And you could say, oh, once or twice, it is what it is, but it's a pretty common theme, to the point where I think Champions refuses to serve him unless he has his debit card I think Champions can get away with it, because I think you can't create a tab, or, unless you give them your debit card. I usually just pay in cash when I go drinking, if I can. But if I don't have cash, I'm usually just one and done and I'm out. So, although lately people have been buying me a lot of drinks, but not the point. Not the point here. Not the point. This is besides the point. So it comes time to cash out. She has to chase him down. So I spot him and I go, oh, he's over there. So, because I popped in after work again on a Saturday with the late band. I think their name is Cali Crush or something like that. So she gets him to pay. Well, he's on all butthurt about it because, like, I think he wanted to take her home or on a date or something. It was all just weird. And she said, absolutely not. Like, you need to pay your bill. I need to go home. It's done. We're closing up. And he got all butthurt about it. So he intentionally came over, slammed the bill down on the counter, and paid what he owed her. And that was that. Never tipped her. Now, yes, tips aren't required, but there's a moral obligation behind it. There's a big moral obligation behind it. Like, you definitely should be tipping your waitstaff, especially here. Like, yes, should they be getting a livable wage? Yes, but we all know how the States works. So he leaves, and it's like, what a fucking prick. And he was a dick to the bartender, and he was just a dick to everyone after he got rejected and stuff like that. So his little feelings were hurt, so he left. So Lacey originally was going to go chase him down and kind of call him out for it. I said, you can't do that. I mean, I'd love to see it. I would love to see that, but you can't do that. That would look really bad on the restaurant. You can't go chasing him down. Yeah, he didn't tip. It sucks, but he's an asshole. You didn't do anything wrong, but you can't chase him down. So I've had a very sour opinion on him for a little bit here. And it's like, it bugs me. It bugs me that people do that, but again, he's just a local asshole and a drunk. So it's kind of a it is what it is moment, but regardless. So fast forward to last night, or well, Friday night, I guess, heading into Saturday morning. So he's there again, and he's at the Rooster doing his whole thing, whatever. So, eventually, like I said, we're quieting it down. We get everyone to finally leave. The band's still there. I go over to Townhouse. There's Jason. I go, ugh, really? So I head upstairs where everyone's at with the pool tables and the dartboard and stuff and whatever. So eventually I get talking to this Puerto Rican woman. And she's going on about, whoops, as I fall over. Sorry, I have an Apple Watch, and it's told me to stand up. Because I have my fitness goals, so can I start maybe reeling things in? I really should start walking more. Because apparently I don't walk as much as I thought I did at work. But anyhow, so so like I said, I don't remember how we got in the conversation, but she was talking about being from Puerto Rico and such, and like not only being from Puerto Rico, but coming here to the States and having, in a time where things were a little less open. And on top of that, she's also a lesbian. So like already being discriminated against because like her skin tone's a little darker than the rest, and then on top of that, she's being persecuted and chastised because of her her preference on love. It was just kind of talking about it because, like I said, I don't know how the conversation got going. You do get a couple drinks in your system, and then topics just happen. It kind of gets talking about whatever. I think she brought up her, she had mentioned her wife. I said, oh, how long have you two been together? And she told me when, she'd moved to Maine and stuff like that, it wasn't really, like, she had her, so she's had her for a long time, but they haven't been married up until, I think, they legalized same-sex marriage in the state of Maine back in, I was in high school still. Oh, yeah, no, Jason's a huge red flag, but anyhow, so, like, as soon as they were able to legally be married in the state of Maine, they became married. But they've been together for a long time, and she was talking about when she first came to the United States from Puerto Rico, blah, 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 blah. So she's going on about that, and she's like, and I'm proud to be Puerto Rican, blah, 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 blah. And then Jason, being Jason, hears that and comes over. The other thing about Jason, I got this part. I'll get to that in a minute, actually. It's a little more, it's not pertinent right now. So he comes over, and he goes, I just hear you say you're Puerto Rican? And she goes, yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. He goes, hi, I'm Jason. I'm American. Just like that, I'm American. That exact kind of just, hi, I'm Jason. I'm American. Just like that. Just change the tone. It's like, wow, dude, hey, slow your roll. I'm already pissed off because of the whole Lacey thing. And I'm already pissed off because, like, I just don't like this dude. I really can't stand for the guy. So she goes, okay, I'm American too. He goes, no, you're not, you're Puerto Rican. And she goes, yep. And being from Puerto Rico also gives me the right of being a U.S. citizen because it's our territory. It's a U.S. territory. Not quite a state, just a territory. And he goes, well, you can't be both, but I was born here. And she goes, okay, good for you. And I'm sitting right here. I'm getting a little pissed off. I'm getting a little pissy. I'm getting a little less than happy. And, so he's kind of going on about how, like, oh, well, you can't be American, you can't just be both, and blah, 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 and it's finally, like, she just puts her hand up, she's like, no, I'm all set. I'm not having this conversation. He goes, well, it's because, I'm right. And I go, dude, it's not about if you're right or not, it's about the fact that you're being ignorant. And he goes, excuse you? I go, no, you're excused, like, you're being ignorant. And he goes, okay, well, you can see yourself out because I'm having a conversation. I'm like, actually, I was having a conversation before you walked over. You're the one that came over here and interjected yourself. So if anything, you can see yourself out of this conversation. He goes, slow your roll. I'm like, no, actually, you slow your roll. You came over here and interjected yourself into a conversation that you had no business being in, and now you're being ignorant. You're not going to come over here and do that to someone. So either be less ignorant or see yourself out of the conversation. You're not welcomed into this conversation. He goes, well, what are you, a liberal? I said, it doesn't matter my political preferences, but what the point is you're being very ignorant to someone, and that's not going to stand. He goes, what are you going to do about it? I'm like, nothing. I'm telling you, this is what I'm doing about it right now, is I'm telling you, you need to leave us alone. And he starts getting a little offended over it, and he goes, well, I don't spend, I only have to take this from you because I spend a lot of money in this town. And I go, actually, it seems like you have a problem with spending a lot of money in this town. He goes, what's that supposed to mean? I go, well, hey, next time you stop into the Golden Rooster, make sure you tip your fucking waitresses. He goes, I tip them all the time. I tip them tonight. I go, no, well, yeah, you might tip them tonight, but you didn't fucking tip them last week. He goes, do you want to fight? I'm like, that's going to be a pretty one-sided fight. Also, the police station's across the street, so I don't really want to get kicked out of here. And I don't really feel like getting my ass kicked, but I'm not going to back down from you. That's not how this is going to work. But don't ever step foot in that restaurant again if you don't intend on tipping your waitresses because you got denied romantically. And his face just turned red, and like he backed up. He's like, I'm just gonna kick your ass right here. And then my manager Crystal walks up, and like the Puerto Rican woman, they like put herself between us and stuff like that. She's like, okay, enough, boys. Like that's enough. And I mean, my heart was going and blah blah blah. But like, nah, you're not gonna come over here and do that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I probably did take it a little too far. Looking back on it, I probably absolutely did take that a little too far. But don't come over here and be ignorant. Don't come over here telling a woman that she's not American and being a dickhead like that. Like, fuck you. Like, big fuck you, dude. Like, no, that's not gonna work this way. Unless you know the facts, don't come over here acting like you're better than someone. But also, like, just go fuck yourself. Like, you're just a piece of shit. So, like, eventually, like I said, my manager showed up at the right time. Because, yeah, this dude could absolutely put me on the floor. Like, I was in a lot of trouble if this dude decided, like, he wanted to kick my ass. Like, if that was the case, I was doomed. But it's like, nah, size aside, like, I'm not going to back down. That's just not what we're doing here, I think as... Pardon me for getting a little patriotic for a moment. I think as a nation, this is what we should be. We should be standing up for people who are being wronged. We should be standing up for people who are being mistreated and stuff like that, or persecuted for whatever it is, their political preferences, their ideologies, their ethnicity, and such like that. Like, there's no reason for that to ever happen. And just because you're bigger than someone doesn't mean jack shit, in my opinion. I mean, yes, like I said, if he wanted to punch me in the face, he could do a lot of damage. But I also have a lot of time to kill and can take him to court. If I so live. If I so live. If I manage to get out of that one, like, I have a lot of time to burn and a lot of people who would stand right by me as I take this asshole to court. Because that's only where it matters, If you want to do something ignorant, cool. I'll sit there and take all the punches in the world. But... I know I'm not going to land any punches. I know I'm going to be knocked out on the floor. So I'm just going to, press charges and let the legal system deal with it, because that's the only chance I got. That's the only chance I got of ever doing anything productive in a, more or less, a fight. So... But it is, it just bugged me. I'm glad my manager showed up at the time she did, because holy fuck. Like I said, I was shitting some chiclets for a little bit for a second. I'm like, yep, this is where I die. Townhouse is bringing some bad juju again, because, oh, fuck me. Because we've gotten locked inside that place before. Definitely made some poor choices there. But as I was leaving, because I left like a couple minutes later, because my manager Crystal was going to walk out, I'm like, let me walk with you. So at least we'll be in numbers. The Puerto Rican woman hugged me, before I left, and she thanked me, and, I apologized to her, because, like, I don't want to make it awkward for her, I don't want her to feel like, her existence is going to, is causing harm to somebody else, but it's like, I'm not going to sit here and just let that happen, especially someone I'm talking to. That's not going to happen right in front of me. But no, I walked out with my manager, Crystal, and, like, dude was already gone. Like, broski was already gone. He fucking hopped ship. Because, his feelings were hurt. He was butthurt. And I love it. I love it so much. I love the fact that he was butthurt. So he left. Someone called him out. Someone differed with his opinion. Someone didn't just sit down and take whatever he had to say for what it was. And he got butthurt. So he left. I'd do it again every day of the week, but just, it pissed me off. It pissed me right the fuck off. I'm like, no, fuck you. You're not going to come in here and do that. And then not only that, but tell me to, you know, slow my roll or see myself out to a conversation I was already having. Nah, like, that's just not going to work. But also, like, you know, I got something to say and I'm going to say it. You know, don't think you're going to come back in the restaurant that I care so much about and treat the people that I love like family like that. There is no way you're going to step foot in my restaurant again without hearing about it. Like, I told the managers over there, and they all thought it was a riot. They thought it was a huge riot, and, you know, big pat on the back for standing up, because I don't do that a whole lot. I don't stand up for a lot of things. I don't ever defend myself. I usually just kind of sit down and take it. But, like, you know, you're not going to wrong the people I love. Like, fuck you, pal. So, but he probably doesn't remember a damn thing, and that's fine. I hope he doesn't. I don't want to get my ass kicked, but by the same token, it's like, just people like that in the world. And oh, and the other thing I forgot was once I get going with a story. So I had mentioned to him, because I was trying to make a point. It's like, you know, when he's going on about how he's American, you know, she's not American because she's Puerto Rican. It's like, well, I'm French. He goes, well, that doesn't, you know, that doesn't count. It's like, yeah, it does. That's my heritage. That's my heritage. He goes, well, you're not from France. I go, yeah, well, I'm from Maine. See, the point is I might not be from France, but I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my heritage. She might be Puerto Rican. She is also American, but she's proud of being Puerto Rican, and she's proud to be an American. I'm proud of my heritage. She's proud of her heritage. Yes, it's a little different because she is from there, but we're still proud of it. We're still proud of it. You know. And he goes, well, doesn't, you know, doesn't matter. So, slow your roll. It's like, no. You know, I'm proud to be an American. I consider myself lucky, because I know there are other places I could be in this world that are a million times worse, comparatively speaking to what we got. But the thing is that I'm way more proud to be a Mainer. That's the thing. Is I might be an American, but I'm a Mainer. I would die for this place first. You know, this is my home. You know, and I brought that up, and he goes, well, yeah, but Maine's a U.S. state. Puerto Rico's not. It's like, yeah, you know, Puerto Rico's not. But it's still a U.S. territory. It's basically a state without, I think, without the perks. It's really just, you know, it's strange. Puerto Rico's is very strange on that regard. Of, like, I don't know why it's, you know, not a state or whatever. I don't know why, you know, what really makes the difference between us and them on that regard. But, you know, the point being is that they still get the same rights we do. Now, why is it I can't paint? But nah, I'm sure karma will catch up with him one day, but, you know, I just hope he doesn't catch up to me one day. But nah, like, I don't know. I'd do it again a million times over, you know. I'd absolutely stand up for people who are being wronged or mistreated and whatnot. It's just how we all should be. But just to say, like, oh, you want to take this outside? It's like, fuck no. Hell no. That's going to go horribly for me. It's going to be horrible. Be paste. Right on the freaking sidewalk out front. I'd be absolute paste. So no, I don't want to fight you. That's a dumb idea. But I will sit here and talk about it. Like, we can have a discussion. That's more productive. Way more productive than anything else we could do. Like, why the hell would I want to fight you about it? That's just dumb. Nah, you gotta fight. Gonna have a public disagreement about something. Openly, and like men. Oh, but the thing I kept forgetting to mention is he did try to like shake my hand after I had kind of brought up the fact that like I didn't really care for him interjecting himself in our conversation where he didn't belong. And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry," and like reached out his hand to shake my hand. And he's the kind of guy that when he shakes your hand, he crushes it because he wants to assert that he's the alpha, he's the man. It's like, and I've fallen for that mistake once because the first time I met him, I thought he was an asshole, but whatever, and he went to go shake my hand, so I shook it, and he just crushed the fuck out of my hand, and I'm like, dude, why would you do that? And it's just like, does it make you feel more of a man for doing that, or what's the deal? Why do you feel the need to crush someone's hand like that? It's just a little excessive, don't you think? You ain't gotta do that. I got small hands, so unfortunately my handshakes are a little pathetic. But like, bro, slow your roll. You get it. You're the macho man here. That's your whole shtick. I don't know. People like him make me laugh from time to time. But that's my interesting little story from the other day. I'm not really... I don't like confrontation in that manner. Only because, like, I don't want to put myself in harm's way. But, like, my adrenaline was fucking going. Like, it was through the roof. Because as soon as that whole interaction ended, it was like I was shaken. It was shooketh. Right to the core. But yeah, just some strange people out there. I don't know. But no, you're right, Icer. Like I said, Karma, we'll eventually catch up with him. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. It will have its way. Karma always collects what is owed to her. Alright, so... I just figured it would be a little easier to raise the terrain up like this than to try to make a base beneath it. Because I can also texture and stuff like that, and I don't have to worry. Because the other thing, too, is like, I want to detail the platforms. I want to make the platforms look nice and add things to them, and so on and so forth. And I can't really do that easily, anyhow, if the platforms are, 16 meters above the ground. Makes it a little difficult. Yeah, no, like, fighting never solves anything. Like I told everyone, like, yeah, no, absolutely, I should have walked away. But, it's like, I'm gonna speak my piece. Alright, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dude, 10 coaches in here, more than comfortably. So these platforms are more than big enough, with more than enough space for long-distance trains to stop through here. I don't think we're ever going to see a train, over 12 cars in length, but definitely with, like, sleepers and baggage cars and stuff like that, you could see a pretty lengthy train. Trains possibly bound for Castine and such, or wherever else it's going. Which does lead me to wonder, how long would it take to get from here to Castine? Because, trains and crossing over, I think, still got to go around and up. Because there will be a mountain range kind of in the way here, which will keep trains kind of on this side. I guess in theory they could loop around. That's a pretty long distance to go, but to get from even, like Trondheim to the Brunswick colony, how long is that going to take? It's a pretty sizable journey. I'd be curious just to lay down track and just like see how long it would take. Like, you know, no grading, stuff like that. Turn derailments off, and then just kind of loosely run a train. We could do that real quick. Just like start in the game at 10 o'clock and then just see how long it takes us to get from here to here. Because that also tells us like what kind of trains would we need to do that kind of journey. Because like once we get out here and kind of get on like where this dip is, like once we get to here, it's going to be a lot of high speed section. Like this is going to be a pretty high speed section. Now, this area here is a little more meandery, so it's a little slower. But the line to Castine, I don't know. Seems like that would be a little quicker. Flat Pepsi. Going for 2 hours now, so I think pretty decent again for 2 hours worth of work. So the thing is let me see here. I need to start working on the actual like structure itself. Although I might be due for just a quick restroom break here in a few minutes. Maybe grab a quick refreshment of said beverage. I was going to go out and drink today, but I think we're going to refrain. Alright, so let's see here. Oh yeah, we gotta put the other side down real quick. Alright, we'll lower the terrain down. So I also need to kind of like figure out what kind of structure is gonna go, kind of clipping into the retaining wall here. I'll fix that in a minute. Just gonna get this a little more taken care of. Perfect. Alrighty. Actually, I'm just kind of curious, like, what does this look like from downtown? Oh, you really can't even tell. It's just, unless you're over here on the edge, really can't tell. Just looks like a wall. So you still get a pretty good view of the port. Now, if you're down here, you can see the cranes. So, not bad, but I think it's just low enough, you know, because I think, let me see here. So this sits at 16. The actual city itself sits at 1870. So the city is about 2.7 meters. Just sounds weird when I said that. Yeah, retaining walls are nice. Really, really nice. Alright, so what structure is going to go here exactly? Man, I should probably finish off this side. And see exactly, you know, how it's all going to come together. It probably would be a better idea, but I kind of want to plop this. I should. Just love how it's not perfectly straight either. Like this bridge kind of comes in at a weird angle. Then it curves to go across the crossover. And I just love how it's not perfectly straight. And I even think these tracks aren't, you know, perfectly straight still. Gives it character. Ouch. Let's see. Station. Aha. Yes. No. Let's see. Not gonna work. Let's see. Brick station large. Well, it is a nice station, and I will use this for something else, but not what I want here. That is a nice structure. Again, I don't think it's going to work what I want it for. Well, let's hold on a second. Out of just curiosity at this point, I just kind of want to see what it would look like if it was slapped up against here. I mean, it kind of works, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that sort of works. I like the giant clock out front. Just the problem is what the f goes up here? That's right, I forgot they made Audis. There was a building that was on the old Kaldvann that I wish I had still, or knew what the name was. It was the station I used over in Hasvik, and I liked that structure a lot. me see. Nice bus stop. I will have to save that. What was that building called? Nice building. I like that. Ah, crap. Just wish I knew. There it is. St. Cloud. Make sure it all lines up appropriately. Symmetrical. It is not lining up. Damn. I mean, I could find something else to be down here. 'Cause I don't like how everything clips. Yes, this would be great. Not use St. Louis Union Station with a sus. Do like us a good sus. Let me see. Try the old Lackawanna station. always just stick this on the other side. Because this does fit barely. Does not leave a lot of room. How am I gonna do this? Because I like this structure a lot. It's a very, very nice structure, but just part of me wishes this was also just regular red brick. So what's this station's name? This is, okay, so let me type in Gar. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. What does it say on the other side? Oh. Huh. Aha. Yes. Yes. Oh. Yes, this works. And we're gonna raise it up. North Express. Oh, I love that. Okay, a little too tall. We could do it. We could do it. Yep, nope, I like this. This station's gonna work, and then we could schlop this adjacent it over here. Because I think it kind of fits. Just really doesn't have a lot of room with this track back here. So what I could do, alright, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna get rid of these for a second. Because I want to be able to fit this in. Without suffocating the platform out, so... Alright, so what I need to do right now also is to raise the platform back up entirely, so we know exactly how high we need everything to be, because that's going to be kind of makes or break. We're going to raise that up. We're going to kind of raise this area up a little bit and slowly slope it down, or kind of like the actual station area itself is going to be up. like the arrival departure area, more or less. I love it. Love it. Alright, so that will also determine how high that's going to be. So we'll get rid of that. We're going to grab a wide platform. I think this is the 6, so we can only go 7. Frick. So I guess we're going to do a 7, I suppose. Yeah. Perfect. Alright, so it almost fits. Shit. How much is a 2 meter? Okay, that's a little narrow. We won't do it. How about a 4? That is fine. That will work. I could probably do a 3 comfortably. Yeah, this will work just fine. So I will need a 6 meter platform over here. Then I'll recreate the so we'll back this up a little more. I do want to give people obviously room to walk around, so. I think the station looks nice. So yeah, a little raised up out here, so we're gonna go ahead and bring the train up to it. And that is intentional. So of course now we need support facilities for this. Hotels, maybe some restaurants down here, parking lots, parking garages. I would like to see the light rail line maybe come in some way, shape or form. But it's a start to the train station. I'm pretty happy with this, actually. I'm just glad we got some buildings that can kind of go with each other. The only other thing I need to do is add like elevator platforms up and down. We could probably do like the platform stairs that go up and over. I would just feel better with elevators because essentially the corridor beneath is going to be beneath the platform between the actual main station building itself and the support building on the other side. So let me see if there's any sort of platform elevator. Actually, I'm going to be going to the DLS here for a second, so let's take a gator. So we're going to be getting grain elevators. Oh, helps if I'm on. There we go. Elevated platform. Elevator. Station lift. We'll try that. Platform lift. Ooh. Okay. Alright, we got some stuff we could use. So we got these AJS station lifts. So that's a lower. So we'll try the upper. I mean, that could definitely work. It's also brick. It kind of goes along with what we're looking for. Let's try these real quick. A little bit lower. I think that's exactly what I'm looking for. What is this? Huh. That's pretty nice. that for something. I think there's a few other ones. Just kind of want to see exactly what we downloaded. Just give me a second. Today, no, that's written sessions. Oh, today. There's Sampline and the SRBR. Yeah, kind of essentially what the other one was. So I think what we'll do is we're going to use the upper lifts, more or less. And I think what we'll do is we're going to plop them kind of... the brick doesn't really match, but... I don't think it's going to matter at this point. It works, it fits, that's all I really care about. Minus 1440. And then the crap. Alright, so we'll rotate this to be facing inward. Alright, so that will start to work over here, so I need to kind of move this to the middle of its position. Or, wait. Hold on a sec, let's see. But as long as they are close enough, we can get away with it. I think they all slightly get a little more forward as it goes along. Alright, so you know what, we'll drag this one just a little forward then. It does. Hold on, I kind of want to put it back where it was so y'all kind of just curve. That's fine, I guess. Alright, just kind of helps me tie together that, this is how people get up to the platform. And then I have to figure out, are we doing a large canopy over the tracks, or are we just doing single canopies over each platform? Because that's kind of what I'm unsure of. Just trying to think real quick, like, what would be the best option? Oh, I gotta put back these tracks, kind of curve with the building. It's actually a decent view of the city. Sitting here waiting for your train and you got the city off in the distance like that. That's pretty. It's very, very pretty. Let me see. All right. Yeah, I was just trying to get an idea in my head of like what would be the best option here. Because I actually don't really know what would be the best option. I think that will line up enough. I think it does the opposite. That's funny. Anyhow, there's the platform lifts. This platform here and this platform here don't need one, obviously, because they're connected by the building. I will add doors to make it believable. Now, the only other thing is, you know, station canopy. Let's see, EMT canopy, industrial canopy, platform canopy, rusty. Is this the old canopy that we used? No. I just want to see, do we have a canopy for a platform? We have the Paddington platform canopy. We have that canopy. Oh, this isn't bad. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, I think that'll work just fine. Yeah. Oh, a meow? Oh, hello. Where'd you just meow from? Come here. Give me your face. Let me see your face. Oh, he will not let me see the face. Upsetting. Truly and most certainly. Well, I can't pet you if you're over there, sir. Butch. Oh, one man. I'm gonna drag this out just a little bit as well. Oh, Toby. What are you doing back there, sir? Okay, go be a man. I'm liking it. I'm liking this a lot. I still need to put a lower platform beneath the current existing one, just so it looks a little better. Just so it's not floating, because it's obviously floating right now, but oh yeah, this looks already so much better with canopies. Ah, that is nice. I like that a lot. Let's see, we're pushing into hour number 3, so hour 3 gives us this. I still need to put back the storage track for equipment. But all in all, I'd say 3 hours worth of work and kind of just bouncing around trying to figure out what the hell kind of train station I want. This is not bad. Of course, need to put the canopies on this side as well as the train station side. So let me go ahead and finish that real quick. looking good, it's looking good. Oh wait, shit, that crashes into that, so we gotta drag that back to here, roughly. There. All the canopies are in. Ah, oh, this looks really nice. Actually, I forgot canopy. Fuck. Ah. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. now all the platforms are in, or with their canopies and such. What I'm going to do, is because I haven't done this yet, I'm going to save before something happens. It just kind of occurred to me, I haven't saved yet, so... Alright, that's saved. So now what we will do is start putting back the equipment track. Just that way that is there. Hi, Tobes, again. Hello, sir. Yes, you are a man. Bring me the teeth. Teeth. Hey, teeth. Teeth. Where are your teeth? Well, I can't pet you if you're sitting terribly far away from me. Ah, you little shit. Little shit. Yeah? What are you gonna do? Oh, shake the butt. Shake the butt. There you go. Silly cat. Alright. So... probably curve this around. Where's Toby? I pet you all day, sir. I pet you all day. You're a needy cat. I am getting hungry. So probably wrapping this up here soon, so I can go eat. Something I really don't want to do on stream, so... not at all what I wanted. Durr. There's the equipment track is back now. I'll put switches down another time. So yeah, I think that'll suffice for now. Of course, I'll have to figure out how to tie it all in. Like, I think it's just gonna start curving in 2 tracks down very slowly. I want that to kind of grade down just very gently. But yeah, I'd say that's a pretty decent start. But I think for now, I'm going to get out of here and go eat some food. I think I want to go ahead and maybe do some practice racing at Bristol real quick. And I think I'm going to come back and do a NASCAR stream, do my Bristol race. But I do appreciate you all for watching. Like I said, sorry it's been so long with the Kaldvann streams and such. Just trying to spit some content out for y'all that maybe you'll enjoy. Or I've also just been kind of in general, so haven't really had the time nor the want to do. There's a staircase goes up to the clock. I like that. Interesting. Anyhow, also there's no clock that faces toward the town. Huh. I'll probably put some clocks down here that hang outside the station. It's probably more important for the clock to look at the actual platform itself. I also know this is the technical front of the station, but I didn't want the big hanging words to be. I could argue, you know, oh, this was just the designer's name of the station, but you know, to have it actually plastered out front of the station would be like, well, yeah. So just trying to hide that. But anyhow, like I said, I do appreciate y'all for watching. Do consider giving this a like if you enjoyed what you saw. If you have any questions about the Trondheim or Kaldvann in general, or just what I'm doing here in trains, feel free to leave a comment. And we will catch you guys in the next one. So take it easy.